The Green Terra is a weekly interactive community group for seekers exploring ways to activate possibilities and creativity in their lives. We dive deeper into the spiritual dimensions that are all too often ignored in our fast-paced modern world. The format of each week features a teaching set around topics for the week, followed by open conversation, which is facilitated by Elena. And now we're even adding meditation. We provide opportunities for each participant to engage by asking questions, sharing your experiences, which deepen our teachings. All participants are automatically muted upon entry. In order to give the participant an interactive portion, we ask that you raise your hand in the raising hand tool or type in the chat box, and then I'll unmute you so you can make your comments. We try to keep everyone muted so that we can control the flow of the conversation, but then there's a time where we will open it up for everyone to discuss. And so for now, it is my pleasure to introduce to you our Green Terra host, Miss Elena Chapman. Welcome, Elena.
Hello, everyone. Hey there. Okay, so I'm Elena Chapman, founder of Soul Manifesto. And just to give you a little bit of background, I'm also a 2-time international best-selling author. I have a 3rd book coming out called Hello Soul, which is totally unique in the self-development world and the spiritual world because I tell you all about, well, you follow me. You actually follow me through my journey, through discovery of how to live by my soul. And it's so cool. You'll learn where I didn't do well, where I did do well. You'll learn techniques for yourself. And then I always give a little bit of extra other things that I know that work that you can try. So it's a really fun way and keeps your interest throughout the whole book. So that's coming out very soon. It's at the publisher right now. And then also I'm a radio show host, and I have a show called Magical Moments, which is also a podcast, which is syndicated. I don't even know where. It's all over the place. And you can look it up by podcast, or you can look it up if you're in the Midwest, FM, AM radio. So let's get started. Today, this is our Green Terra group. And as you know, or maybe you don't, the Green Terra is a Buddhist goddess who is all about guidance from her soul and doing her heart's desire, which I think is absolutely perfect and beautiful. So with that, I love this group because, well, number one, everyone who gets on here is fantastic. You guys, the comments, the things that you learn and grow are fantastic. And I just, you know, it's a great, great group. And I love the discussions we're having. We're actually talking about happiness. What is happiness? And how do we create it in our lives? And I don't mean just on the weekends. I mean happiness all the time. How do we create it? So I thought this would be a really good one because, you know, there's a lot going on in our world right now. And it's not letting up. And I don't know about you, but I am even sick of Corona right now. Well, you know, why? Well, because I can't travel like I like. But mostly because I keep forgetting the stupid mask. And it's important to have the mask, but I keep forgetting it anyway. So it's a bother. Today I had to drive all the way back home. But even that didn't ruin my happiness. And that's what you're going to learn. You know, I mean, I was out there. I had to go in the store. I drove out. Took me 15 minutes to get there. So then I'm all parked and I'm looking for a mask, can't find one. Wouldn't that be the opportune time to get all grouchy, to start to get mad at yourself, to think, geez, I wasted time, la, 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 and off you go. But instead, I just thought, oh, I can't believe I forgot my mask. And then when I started out, I created the happiness. So life is so short. And it's funny, happiness is something we always think is out there. I know so many people, you know, put their contingency on their happiness. What do I mean by that? I mean, I will be happy when. That's what we should call it, the when sequence. I will be happy when I make $1 million. I will be happy when I buy that beautiful house on the hill with the white picket fence and the 2.1 dog or whatever, you know. All right. So yeah, you get what I'm saying. It's always off in the distance. It's always when I attain something. Funny thing is, when you do attain it, you're sometimes less happy than you were when you started out. So that contingency thing. The other thing is we tend to have happiness. We depend on others or outside circumstances. You know, if conditions are all set, then I have a happy day. Interesting. Or, oh my gosh, I was just with my friend. She makes me so happy. And yes, she could. But what about you making her happy? You know? And then also, I wrote down a lot of things because I wanted to remember, and I was brainstorming and knowing. So also I put, we also find ourselves with complaining people so often, you know, and we allow the complaining people to bring us down. But we expect, or sometimes, it's really funny actually. I was in Verizon today, and there was a group of people, and we were all together waiting, and one person was being served, and the group was all complaining, but they were so happy about the complaining. I found that very interesting. And afterwards, though, you could feel the heaviness set into them. Isn't that interesting? So anyway, a lot of times we get caught up into the chaos, we get caught up into the noise, we get caught up into people's vibration, we get caught up into everything in the world except ourselves. Now, the most important thing I want you to remember about happiness is that happiness is a decision. It is a decision. It is not something that happens to you. Conditions do not have to be perfectly aligned. The stars don't all have to line up for you, okay? Happiness is not just one time a day when you get to do what you want, but it's a decision to have happiness in your life, okay? Now, being said that, I just handed you total control over your own happiness. And you're thinking, oh, Elena, oh my gosh, you just gave me another thing to worry about. No, because you have the power. I've actually handed you the power to have that happiness in your life every day. Now, we can talk about a little bit. I want to show you some of the ways I keep happiness in my life, okay? But first, I would like, now for some reason, I'm on my phone tonight. I couldn't find my computer. I don't know what I did with it. So with that, I cannot see, Della, people who are raising hands or anything else. So let me see. Yeah, so I see some. Hi, Laura, I see you. So that's great. Hello, hon. And I'm trying to see. And Gladius, hello. And I don't know who's 1337, but hello. So I would like anybody to, first of all, raise your hand or let Della know if you have something that you want to talk about as far as answering the question. Number one, do you agree that you make your own happiness? And how do you usually find your days? Anyone wants to volunteer to start this show on the road? I have something over here. What is this? Oh, I have a chat. Okay, yeah, that's just a topic. Okay. Anyone else? No.
You know, it's funny you should mention about happiness.
Yes. Hi, Laura. Yeah, why?
Hello, hello. How are you?
Hello.
It's been a long time.
Yes, it has been a long time. I'm so glad you're on. That's very cool. Very cool. So yes, why is it so funny to mention happiness?
Because it wasn't, since this whole COVID-19 has started, I've been writing a lot more. I write poems,
Yes, I know.
and I only did it here and there throughout the year. Yeah, I only did it here and there, but since the whole COVID-19, I've really been writing a lot. And one of the topics that I was challenged to write on was happiness. I just find it so
Really?
ironic. Yeah.
Yeah. Very ironic. Very
is.
ironic. And why did you find that one difficult?
Well, with everything that's going on, you would think. My problem is that I'm trying to stay positive. I'm trying to, stay happy. Even though I have so many challenges. I just had another surgery on August 6th. I had my other knee replaced.
Okay.
And I see, when I'm out and about, I'm seeing actual fights happening between different races, which is so sad
wow.
to see.
It's very sad to see.
You would think at this time in our lives, especially with everything that's going on, people would be making more of an effort to be one, to unite, to be in unity, but they're not.
Yeah.
It's tearing us apart.
It is tearing us apart. Well, we're allowing it. There's a lot of anger in the world. And instead of going within, dealing with our anger, seeing why we have this anger. And I mean, I understand some of the anger. I do understand the brutality and stuff. I do. I do think protesting is not bad. Because I grew up with protesting. I mean, totally, I grew up in Vermont. It wasn't, what are we protesting? It's more like, what is it this week we got to do? We protested every week. Huh?
What part of Vermont?
Oh, I grew up in the Burlington, Shelburne area. Yeah. So
I was born in St. Albans.
Oh, you're kidding. Isn't that a small world? Oh my God. Very cool.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh. So you know Vermont. Vermont's a very much open.
Yeah.
So I do, but it's when the anger grows so incredibly strong, and then it turns destructive, and everything turns destructive, and people are destructively attacking them, and they're attacking the people. It's turned, there was so much anger in the world beforehand that when the protest hit, it just kind of bloomed. And it's very sad about that. And also, there's just a lot of anger out there. There has been for the last, 4 years, lots of anger. So, and the crises have been going, the crises are, if you look at a timeline, the crises are so yeah, that can bring us into a bad mood. If someone said, Elena, look at the world, how in the heck can we be happy? That's a justified question. That's a justified issue. But go ahead, Laura.
I was just going to say, one of the things that we're taught at work is you may not have control over the situation, but you have control over your response to it.
Exactly. Now, yeah, does anybody else want to chime in here? That's very good, Laura. I just want to see if anybody else wants to chime in. Everyone's being kind of hush-hush. Okay. So, all right. Yeah, there is a lot out there, and you can get swallowed up in it. You can go out into your car, drive to work, and by the time you get to the work, you can be ready to write a letter to this and start acting out in this way, put you in a bad mood for the rest of the day. Yes, it can happen. So what do? Well, if you make a decision to be happy, then that is one way you're responding to all the noise out there and to all the problems and to all the anger. And I'll tell you, when you decide that you want to be happy, then you start to set up the circumstances that create your happiness. And you start to turn off the things that create the things that make you not happy. The other thing that you do when you But, you know, does that mean you ignore everything out there? No, it doesn't. However, you start to get a little choosy, meaning you don't fall for everything that happens every single minute, because if you do, my God, I don't know how anybody has any time for anything else. But if you see, like, for instance, if I am going to get involved in anything to a place where I get emotionally involved or want to do something, then I really have to look and decide, okay, what can I bring to this situation and how can I help it? And then I'm directing my energy. And that makes me actually happy because I'm being proactive in it. Do you see? But if I'm going to just sit there and listen to the news and get all huffy, puffy, poofy and not do anything, that actually not only causes anger and unhappiness, it freaking causes anxiety, because you mull it over in your brain all day and your stomach goes into a fight or flight, all your organs do. And before you know it, you've got a full-blown anxiety feeling going on, where your stomach feels upset, your shoulders are uptight, and then when someone talks to you about something else, you're ready to snap at them. Okay? So it's not ignoring the situation, but it's not getting swallowed up in every bit of piece of news. Like I said, if you find something that you want to be proactive on, you want to help out. Like, we were going to have protests here in Fort Wayne. We did have protests. And I thought, you know what? I would love to have meditations before the protests, just to help everyone have a little bit of peace and clarity, and to just kind of get a higher sense of what they were protesting for or against, and just to get things to just get on a different level, and maybe even start some communication. And so, but Fort Wayne's not known for its protesting. That's where I live now. So by the time I got that together in 1 week's time, everybody had stopped protesting. But do you see how I went after that? And I was really happy. I had chosen something, but I was doing it in a way that I knew I could bring my greatest gifts to it. And that made me happy, because then I knew I was giving. Do you see the difference? So when we create our happiness, we have to then stick to it. That means it's like going on a diet. If you go on a diet, you don't go out and eat the ice cream cone. So when you decide to be happy, well, then you don't allow the stuff that's going to make you unhappy into the equation. Okay? You have to really start to think, okay, what are the things that are going to bring me joy? Now, for me, I always start with a morning connection. And we've talked about that before. And my morning connection, you know, I'll vary it a little bit. This morning, I even put on YouTube, I had on my YouTube feed, I had Vivaldi. Whoa, somebody just had, I think, an accident. Okay, I think they're okay. There was a Vivaldi, which I love, Baroque music. So when I was doing my morning connection, I had my coffee, I had my gratitude pad, and I turned on Vivaldi as I was doing my gratitude. Now for me, music will even send me higher and happier. So I'm listening to that Vivaldi, I'm doing my gratitudes. I did about 6, anywhere from 1 to 10 is great. And then I felt them. And I felt them really strongly because I had the help of the music too. And I love my coffee in the morning. So all these things are already creating happiness. And the house was quiet. So I could do this, okay? And then I do a short little meditation saying, how can I serve? And I get very quiet. And then I look at my day, which makes me happy because I get like a preview of my day. So I know where I'm supposed to be when, and I write it out again. And I also think to myself, okay, and how do I want to feel today? How do I want to be today? And that sets the intention for the day. Do you see? That's my morning connection. And if you want a morning connection, the thing is, it's got to raise your vibration. It's got to connect you to something bigger than yourself. And it's got to set your intention so that you feel good and confident and like you've got this. And that is my morning. And I get up from there feeling renewed. I felt good. I felt happy. And that's how I start my day most days. And when I hurt my knee, but I usually do yoga too. I didn't do it this morning though. And but the yoga helps me, then I feel physically I feel good. Okay. So that's one way I bring in happiness. The second is that I just don't turn on the news. It's amazing. For someone who doesn't listen to the news, I get more news than I could ever want in my whole entire life. You can't escape it, guys. If you think you have to listen to the news to hear the news, I can tell you, no, you don't. It's everywhere. It's everywhere. So I don't even listen to the news. I turn on whatever I want on my Pandora when I'm in the car. I had to go somewhere. So I turned on what I love. I love my music. I'm bebopping in the car. I'm bebopping in the car because I love it, because I love the music. And that is happiness. And you'll find that the more you put happiness in, weird things will happen. Like when I had to go to the Verizon store and I had forgot my mask. Well, a friend called me and said, where are you? And I said, oh, I'm right at the Verizon store. And they said, which one? Well, they came over. We ended up talking forever and having a really good time. And then I went home and got my mask, ran a couple errands, went back to Verizon. And I was not feeling bad at all. And when I went into Verizon, everything, people were really nice. They were all complaining, but they were really happy about it. I did not complain, but they all they all love, when you're the happy one, even the complainers gravitate towards you. And so I turned the subject around into something happy. And I'll tell you, by the time everybody left, they were really laughing and the heaviness had left them. See, you create the world you want to live in. And if you make a decision to be happy, you will do the things, you will create the situations and respond to other things that you don't have control over, but you will respond in a way that creates the happiness for you. And that is what's so important. Because there's a lot of things out there that can drag you into a direction that you don't want to be in. Now, and that doesn't even mean in the world. That can be the mother-in-law. That can be my mother. That can be a situation that's landed in your lap that you're trying to deal with. How do you make that? How do you let that not create a world of chaos and hardship? I make it fun. I figure out a way to make it fun. And whatever it takes, I will make it fun. Otherwise, I actually find myself not doing it. And don't we all sort of do that anyway? So where we have to go with this, if we know that we're creating our own happiness, it's really funny. You all of a sudden get these sensors on you that you can feel when there's a situation that is yucky, or when the vibration of the room is heavy. You can feel the non-happiness. And then it's up to you to either feel like, all right, I'm just still going to be happy and bring that forward. Or, you know what? If I don't have to be there, I won't. When you respond with happiness to situations, it's funny. It helps you to tap in to a creative side of you. It helps you to see, because if I am dealing with something I don't like to do, like right now, my mom is not doing well. I've had to take over her finances and she had let it go. People are canceling stuff on her and everything else. I'm having to deal with that headache. And is it a headache? Oh, it can be. So I can sit there and piss and moan while I'm doing this, or better yet, not do it. But my mom needs me. It's not something you can just throw away. I have to make it fun. I have to find ways that make it fun. Now that can be as little as getting my favorite latte and sitting down and starting those calls, playing my music, scheduling something in 2 hours. Give myself a 2-hour limit to contact things, and then schedule coffee with a friend. Or just get out of the house and go to an antique store, which I just love. No, I'm not going to buy anything. I'm going to look around. Or take a walk in my woods. I am not going to allow myself to get swallowed up into the problems. Do you see? Because that will drag me down and I'm less effective. But while when I do this and this, you start thinking of fun ways to get through the difficult things that create the happiness. That starts tapping into your creativity. And before you know it, you start coming up with creativities to solve the problems within the terrible thing you didn't want to do in the first place. Do you see? It gets, when you decide to be happy, you will not settle for less. And when you don't settle for less, then the condition of your reality has to change. It's a law. It's the law of the universe. So if you are using the will, your will, to create the happiness around you, it has to change into happiness. It has to. But if you're wishy-washy and you let those, I let all those people I have to contact who are giving me a hard time affect me, I'm done. Do you see? I can't be wishy-washy. Now, I know there are questions there because I see some people looking at me with scrutiny. So, what? Yeah, I see one. Yeah, Tammy's all ready to start talking. So, Della, can we unhook everybody or unmute or whatever we do? Okay, guys. Della, can you unmute everybody? I know you're trying. Are you having a problem?
She got me.
Hi, Tammy.
Hi, I can hear.
Now Laura, too. Laura's there. Okay, so then we got to get Gladius and somebody else. Okay. All right. All right. Tammy, why don't you go first?
I just love what you're saying. I was going like that because I'm just excited to hear it all. I feel better. I feel better just listening.
That's good.
I say
That's
amen.
good.
I want you whispering in my ear all day long.
Really? You could?
Yeah,
I love it.
You do that?
Oh, well, it's funny. When I was going for my Master Gardener, the director of the Master Gardener program, I was having trouble with the native trees in Indiana because I'm not from here, first of all. So I kept saying, Ricky, I just got to put you in my pocket so that I always have you. That's what your comment reminds me of. So I wish I could, hon.
You said I didn't get all of it because I had to do something else, which I'm sorry. But you said you can't be wishy-washy. You have to will it. And you know, I'm known to be a wishy-washy person. So you're saying don't be wishy-washy with your will as far as how you create the
Yes.
positive.
Yes. And that goes for everything. That doesn't just go for happiness. Okay.
Mhm. And
The
I love
will, I love you too. All right. Now,
your skin looks so pretty.
well, thank you. So do you.
Thanks.
My
I'm trying
gosh. And I love your color too. Yeah.
Oh.
And the long hair. My gosh, you're gorgeous. So, but this is the thing. Will is one of the gifts of the Spirit. There are 6 gifts to the Spirit. There's will. Let me see if I can get them all. Okay, there's imagination, which that's what the fun is tapping into. Okay, that's imagination. It is perception, which is altered when you alter you get your imagination cooking, right? Perception, memory, and believe it or not, memories start to change too because you get a higher understanding, which is very interesting. Then your okay, that's 3. Memory. Just a minute, I should know all. I know it, but I'm just for some reason I'm caught off guard. So then the memory, and then your but okay, I gotta write it down. Imagination. Gosh, that's so funny. I do this all the time. I don't know. Then perception. Then I said memory. Yeah, I got out of line. All right, then reasoning. And then your will. And I'm missing one. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. I'm missing one. All right, it'll come to me in a minute. But anyway, the will is a gift of the Spirit. It's not stubbornness. It's will. And you really have to learn how, intuition. There's your 6th one, intuition. Intuition. There, that's the 6 gifts of the Spirit, okay? Now,
Say them over, say them again.
Yes. Okay, so it's imagination, perception, memory, reasoning, will, and intuition. And here's the cool thing. When you start activating your imagination, then it's like a catalyst. And all of a sudden, your perception starts to change. When your perception starts to change, my gosh, you get the higher understanding, then the memories start to get better and different. And your reasoning, how you reason through problems, how you reason through your life, how you reason through anything is different because your perception is different and you're using your imagination. And then you get the will. You activate the will to make things happen. Intuition, you open up your intuition to feel, to say, okay, this isn't right. I need to do something about it. Your intuition is you. That is your soul talking to you. You really need to listen to your intuition. So, but we're talking about will right now. Will, you activate it. It's saying, okay, this is what I want. And I am opening up my imagination to making things fun and making it happy. I am raising my vibration and I am going to stick to this. The kids may be screaming in the hallway. There might be protests on the street. I don't know, anything. We could be out of toilet paper again. It doesn't matter. You know, it's an inconvenience, but that's all it is. And if you have the will, you'll get in your car, you'll turn on, I don't know, I'm on to Morissette, what's her name there? I love her music, I've been listening to this music, and you just start to rock and you go someplace else for your toilet paper. Do you see? You don't let it pulse you. We get upset by the littlest, stupidest things that don't even matter. And don't allow those things to give you an excuse to give up one of the greatest gifts you have, which is your will to make it happen. But now, So I'm doing this. Okay, I'm going to another place for my toilet paper. Oh my gosh, I go over to Fresh Market for milk and there's toilet paper right there. Do you see? And all of a sudden you're thinking, oh, that's no problem whatsoever. And all of a sudden you find that this happiness, this getting out of this doldrum mundaneness starts to become your reality. And you're like, how in the heck did that happen? You did it, and you did it by your will. If you walk, it's actually the walk of gestation, okay? The law of gestation states that when you have a desire, you have a strong will, you're walking towards whatever it is, you will grow. Law of gestation, it will become. It's the law of becoming. It will grow, and it has to, must come into reality for you. And that goes for any goal in your life. We're putting it to happiness, but it could be your job, it could be your family, it could be meeting that special person in your life, it can be any of that. Now, the one thing that the law of gestation will get interrupted with is when you add worry. In fact, anything that you add worry to immediately disconnects you, because you go back into that mind of yours, your ego, and you start ruminating and you start saying, but what happens if this happens? I actually have a funny story. Well, it's an old story. I learned it from I think it's from India. Okay, so this guy is lost out in the desert or whatever. And all of a sudden he sees a hill, and he goes, and there's a tree on the hill, and he goes, I'm so tired, I must sit under that tree. And so up he goes, and he sits under this beautiful shaded tree. And he then he takes a little nap, he wakes up, he stretches, and he says, oh my gosh, I am so hungry. Poof! A beautiful banquet of food comes right before him. And he starts to eat like crazy. He goes, I need some water. I need some water. So, poof, water appears. My dog's getting all excited. The water appears. And he starts drinking that. He goes, I think I want wine. Poof, some wine's there. He's drinking the wine, and he's saying, this must be a magical tree. Then it happens. What happens? What happens if this is an evil tree? It's a magical evil tree. It's going to create monsters. Poof! Monsters appear. And they're going to eat me. Poof! That's the end of the story. Now, do you see what I mean? Don't ruin the good thing. Don't let the ego take control and disconnect you from the best thing, from that magical tree in the sky, if you want to think of it that way. It doesn't matter. It's the universe. And just allow it to be what it is for you. And all you have to do is use your will to walk towards it. Don't allow that ego to add all its busyness and its worry and its doubt and its fear, because that's then what you create. Isn't that a fun story? I love that story. So anyway, all right, questions. And I think you can keep we've got a great group. You can keep everyone unmuted. We're gonna go through the muting thing again. Della, are you there, hon? Della.
Yes, I'm asking everyone to unmute. Can you hear me? I'm asking everyone to mute themselves.
Okay, but have them unmute.
I'm unmuted.
I'm
Okay.
unmuted.
All right, you guys unmute yourselves. All right, so I want to take a couple, I'm going over again. Got to stop this. Now it's 6:45 and I'll do a 10-minute meditation because I want to solidify this in you. Okay. I want you to start thinking. I'm going to take you up. I'm going to allow you to get guidance from whatever, a guide. I'm going to take you on a journey. And then you, all of a sudden, hopefully will try to see how you can put this fun and this happiness into your life starting tomorrow. Okay? It's kind of fun. So, but what are comments right now? What are you thinking? Yes, Laura.
So I know you said, obviously we can control our response to a situation. How do you do that when it comes to death of a loved one?
Death of a loved one. Okay, now you're going into grief. Grief has its own stages. It has its own overwhelming. Yes, grief is interesting. It's an interesting thing. Because I don't exactly have a lot of, the grief I've always suffered was more of a selfish, like I miss them so. But then my reality of my thought and my belief that they truly are in a better place, that they have gone home, that they are, then that lightens my grief tremendously. So I never go through all the stages because I understand that me wanting them here, in the physical form is, not always for their best, and it's only for me. So I kind of have that. But for someone who's going through grief, you've got to go through the stages or get the higher understanding to understand that, number one, they are in a better place. If you're Christian, they're in heaven. If you're Buddhist or Tibetan, that there's reincarnation. They'll be back before a blink of an eye. You know what I mean? So there is no place. They're not. Energy doesn't die, so they're not dead. They have gone on a new journey. And it's a place where there is no pain, no suffering, no sickness, no awful afflictions. So why in the heck would I be unhappy for them? So, but like I said, you miss them in physical form. When my dad died, I was very much at peace, actually, because he had Lou Gehrig's. And I remember everyone grieving so hard. And I said, but you don't want him back the way he was. He was in pain. Rejoice for him. Rejoice. Yeah. So it's all in what your belief is. And if you need to go through those stages, that's okay. Go through the stages. Try to get a higher understanding because it will help you through the stages faster. Read things. Read the Tibetan Book of the Dead. That is a fascinating book. Or read the Bible. Heaven forbid, let's not forget the Bible. Read the Bible. Read things about, or go to people who have experienced death and come back. And then all of a sudden your awareness gets better. If we just sit in our missing and our grieving, my gosh, it'll tear us up inside. So, okay. I hope that answers your question. And in that way, you are creating happiness because you're gaining a bigger understanding. And that gives you relief. Okay? All right, so who else? I love your questions. I really do. They make me think. I like to think.
I always do that to you.
I know.
I wanted to add to Laura's question about grief. Or about death, because my husband died 5 years ago, and the way that he spiritually encourages me to stay in my happy zone is the memories. So it's very important to embrace every moment that we are currently living, so that when the time comes for someone to pass and go, that you have those memories to remind you of who they were and what you guys had. That can continue to increase your happiness. So it's not always about the selfish state where you wish they were still here, but it also in the memory of who they were to you and what you guys have is what helps me to continue to smile, especially when I look at my kids, especially when I just reminisce that like today is our wedding anniversary. And so today has
Oh,
been an exciting day, even though he's not here, but I was still grateful for today to be able to be his wife for those years that we had. So I try to turn grief around and use it, in the memories of,
Della,
that
that's
person.
beautiful. That's beautiful. Thank you. Thank you for sharing that. Yeah, the memories, and I'll tell you, sometimes I remember when my Nona died, my grandmother. I remember when she all the lights in my apartment at that time went off and then went back on, and they did it 3 times. And she had just died. I didn't know that, but I said, "Ooh, something's up." And then I found out that she had passed on, but she was saying, "Hey, I'm going on." But it just, I don't know. It did. It's the memories. I hold her memories, but I feel her with me all the time. So you have to kind of look at, if you can get out of the feelings of they're not here physically touching, then other stuff opens up for you, and that makes you happy.
All right, I got another question for you.
Okay.
So you say when we're dealing with grief, we think to ourselves that they're no longer suffering or anything like that. How do you deal with a murder? Perfectly healthy man.
Oh, God, we're getting on a lot of stuff like this. All right, well, murder, oh, God, I've not had to have, no one I know has been murdered. Depends how you look.
My best friend was murdered.
Oh, well, again, it's a higher understanding. But on the other hand, that does not release the person who murdered them. And that does not release, there's a lot of anger. You've got to vent the anger. And you've got to find ways to vent the anger. And I think what I would do, and if that person is not found or not, it's not, it's like a mystery, then it's up to us to, if we're not going to be proactive and find the murderer and solve the case, I'm serious, then we have to gain a higher understanding. And there are so many different views out there of what really happens in our life down here and our purpose for being here and where we're going. That, a lot of it is very real. So when you start to get a higher understanding of things, you kind of understand how things play out too, even though it's not for the best in the physical form.
Because I've been struggling with this for 9 years.
Yeah. Well, then decide, am I going to go out there and start solving this thing? Or am I going to start learning about learning and reading and listening and learning about why these things happen. Okay? Yeah. All right. Anybody else? Gladius, what about you?
I'm doing okay. My tendency though is to do too much. So one of the things that helps me a lot is I garden constantly. I've been gardening for like 4 months straight.
Wow.
And today, I also take care of my mother. She's 89. She had to go to the doctors today. So it's the first time she's been out of the house in 6 months because of the COVID. So dealing with that, it's a challenge. It wasn't bad. It wasn't great, but it wasn't bad.
Yeah.
But right now I'm making tomato sauce. So I've harvested.
Yeah.
So I've harvested all kinds of tomatoes. I started these tomatoes like in early March in the house, and now they're downstairs cooking on the stove. Boiling them down, and I'm going to can them. but it's overwhelming, right? So it's like I do these projects and I mostly just work alone, and it can be really overwhelming. You know, it's just like this
Yeah.
never ending work to be done.
Okay.
And,
You know what? Yeah, I understand. And I also think I think, yeah, and you are one that does put a lot on yourself. And you know, there is a way for you to kind of lighten that. And I'm glad you like gardening, because I do too. I haven't been able to get out as much as I like, and I really love it. So I understand that love to get your hands dirty. But this is the thing. Okay, yes, and I'm taking care of my mother and her finances, which is hard, and so I understand that aspect too. I really do. So here's the thing: we have to know happiness when we decide that we want happiness truly, and happiness is in here. Then we start to say to ourselves, okay, let's be real. You know, where is my button? Where is my button when this is just too much? And darn it, I'm going to press it when it's too much. If I know that I'm really good at swinging 2 dishes in the air, then why am I going to add a third?
mm-hmm.
Nope, that's my limit. Stop. I'm not going to do that. Sorry, that's not my happy zone. I'm going to swing 2. Do you see?
Mm-hmm.
And I think that's where right now you're learning the lesson. When do I feel overloaded? When do I not? Okay, so where do I feel comfortable? Well, that's where I'm going to stay. And you know, you say to yourself, well, gosh, that sounds so selfish. No, it's not. Because when we're overwhelmed, we cannot bring our very best forward. We can't do it. Now,
Can't help others.
we can't help others because we're not in our best way. We do it begrudgingly. We do it with a chip on our shoulder. We do it with tiredness. So when we do it from, when we know our own limits, then we can feel free to feel the happiness. So like I now, you know, I'm taking care of my mother. I have this business and I have 3 amazing kids. So I'm a lot of times dealing with lots of different things. And some days it does get overwhelming. And so I will stop. Literally, I will get in my car and I will go to this little nature preserve I love. And for just 15 minutes, I will just sit there and do a meditation, listen to the cranes, listen to the blue herons, the hawks, and just listen to their call and get myself back. Just bring myself back. And then the next step I do, I think, okay, what can I accomplish and be okay with, and what has to wait till tomorrow? And I do this a lot because there's just no way that I can feel that overwhelm and still be a good mom, still be fun with my mother, who's hard to be fun with. I did get her to like vanilla lattes though. Now she just loves them. So when we go out, I always treat her to an ice cream cone or a vanilla latte because she loves them like crazy now. And so that lightens it up too. You know, I find ways to lighten up the chores and like taking my mom out somewhere. And that helps me. You know, sometimes I even get her singing some songs. I'll put on some songs that she used to know and we'll sing. And it helps to, it brings the happiness. And oh my gosh, you're also building memories. You know, when you're not overwhelmed, you'll bring the specialness of you into the things you do. And then those things that you do, like bringing your mother out, creating those memories, then all of a sudden you've changed that moment to a better moment. Do you see?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
But you've got to be a guide on your own. I know me, I know my limit. And I tell everybody, that's my limit. So
Yeah.
you want me to do 10 videos tomorrow? Probably not going to happen, but I'll have them for you on Saturday. Do you see? Yeah, I put limits. Okay, I hope that helps you.
It does. I set some intentions during this COVID. I wanted to lose some weight, and so I'm about 30 pounds overweight. And
Okay.
so the first 2 months of COVID, I walked 6 miles a day every day for like 60 days. So I walked like
Awesome.
300 miles, and I lost like almost 20 pounds. And then I've been working in the garden for like, for 4 months and in the heat. So I'm up north of Boston, so I'm on the East Coast.
Yeah. Oh,
You're not far
good
from
for
me.
you.
You're not
What's
far
that?
from me.
That's Laura's Laura, you're in New York, right?
No, I'm in Massachusetts.
Oh, sorry, Massachusetts.
Yeah, that's where I'm in Massachusetts.
Yeah, that's funny.
Oh my gosh, my dad was from Massachusetts. Ah, I love the East Coast. But anyway, yes, I know.
So
And,
setting some intentions, the
That's
intention.
good.
Yeah. And eating,
Maybe.
it's an organic garden. So lots of
Yes.
produce right now.
Yes.
Um,
Oh, I'm so happy. I put in my herb garden this year, and I am so happy. The basil and the peppermint, I love peppermint, and the rosemary and the catnip, and I'm loving all my herbs. I love my herbs. So I have a herb garden this year. Next year, I'm going to put in blue corn and tomatoes and watermelon, my favorite.
Ooh. That sounds yummy.
Yeah. So guys, Gladius, you brought a really important thing, because if we allow ourselves to get overwhelmed, if we allow ourselves to get so crazy, then we can't be happy. We feel put upon. And when we feel put upon, that puts us, wham, our vibration goes from here right down.
Mm-hmm.
So don't allow it. And then like I said, then when you bring your mom out, it's not a chore. All of a sudden, once you get the wheelchair and the trunk and everything else, then all of a sudden you'll think of something and just say, hey, you want a chocolate ice cream cone?
There you go.
Something like that they want. Your mother. I know mine. I know she likes that, and you find those little treats and you start just making the memories with her. And that's so much more fun than just thinking you got to get her in the car and take her to the doctor, which is hard. Okay?
Yep.
Yeah. These moments are meant to live. All right, guys, I'm going to do a short meditation because we keep going over. Okay, so, all right, this is what I'm going to do from now on. We're going to talk for 20 minutes, then have dialogue. Then I'm getting this perfected. I just have to talk a shorter time. All right, let's do this. So, I'm getting my big old drum. Tammy, you should have brought your drum too. Oh, all right. So what I'm going to do, honey, guys, I'm going to bring you on a journey. All right. So I want you to get comfortable. Now, journeys are from the shamanic tradition. I'll be straightforward with that. They are a meditation, but they're more, meditations, a lot of times you just try to feel that sweet spot like I teach, the transcendental and all those. But this journey is different. It has an intention. So our intention, and I'm giving you the intention. So in this wonderful journey, Tammy's done this, but we're going to do it a little bit differently. I am going to take you up to the universe's hand. I'm going to allow you to. We're gonna open that door and just sit in that wonderful hand. Now I'll tell you something. I go up there a lot, especially at the end of the day. It's a wonderful way to go to sleep when you know you're in the beloved's hands, God's hands, source, whatever. And also, that's where I like to go when life is just stinko for a day. And I need to talk, and I need to get some answers. Now, right now, we're going to go up, and we're going to maybe you'll get some guidance. If not, you'll feel that peace, you'll feel that joy, but maybe you'll get some guidance on how to bring that happiness in your life, because only the universe and you know what you truly need. Okay? So get comfortable, This is going to be a shorter one. I'll probably take you up there because I'm over time again. We got to stop that. And what I'm going to do is just get you up there for like 5 minutes. And that's a good beginning meditation or journey. And pretty soon you'll be so good I can do it for 20 minutes and you won't even blink an eye. So get comfortable. And I'm going to go slow. Snuggle in. And take deep breaths. Now breathe in. And breathe in the goodness. And when you breathe out, allow all that anxiety, worry, fear, busyness, overwhelm out. Feel it come out from every pore. Breathe in. You're going to breathe in the spirit. Now breathe out, out again, all through you. All out your pores, by your air, all that uckiness out. Now, above your head is a beautiful lavender light. Allow that lavender light to start to enter the crown of your head and allow it to just coat your mind. This beautiful lavender light just coats it like a milkshake. Allow it to go down into your eyelids, creating such a heaviness. Down into your cheeks. Down into your jaw, allowing it to go slack. Down into the nape of your neck, allowing your head to get just kind of wishy-wobbly like a little doll. Down into your neck. And allow the lavender light to go down into your shoulders, just dropping them. Down into your arms and your elbows, your lower arm, your wrists, your hands, your fingers. All your arms are filled with this lavender light, and they feel so heavy. Allow the lavender light then to go into your chest, opening the chest. And down into your diaphragm and your stomach and down your spine, just opening. Down into your groin, releasing the muscles. Down into your hips, loosening those joints. It feels so good. And then the lavender light goes down into your legs and your knees. And those hard-working calves just relax. And your ankles, feet, and toes, you are filled with lavender light. Allow yourself to sink into your chair. And now it's time to come with me on a journey. Up ahead, right before you, is a beautiful field. There are 10 steps in this field. Now this field is full of the most beautiful flowers and some beautiful butterflies, birds, whatever you see, that's what's there. And there's a path that runs through this field. We are going to take 10 steps. Allow yourself to get engrossed in all the different things in this field. Here we go. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 2, 1. You are standing on the other side of the field, and up ahead, there is a door. It is the most beautiful door, and it's your door. All around that door, there is light. This is the door to your universe. There are 10 steps to that door. As we walk to that door, every step, you get deeper and deeper into the relaxation. Let's begin. 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. You are standing right before the door. When you are ready, you may open the door and step into the hand of the universe, source, God. Allow yourself to feel the joy, the peace, the unconditional love. And feel free to also, if you like, ask for the guidance. How can I bring that happiness in my life? You may open the door when you're ready. Okay. It's time to come back, guys. Make sure you thank whatever guidance you had or just that peace that you felt. Come back through the door. Now, as we walk down the path, start to think about the things you want to keep from this meditation. Maybe it was a message or a feeling. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And before us is our field. As we walk through the field, begin to wiggle your toes, wiggle your fingers, start to come back into this plane of reality. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, wiggle, wiggle, 9, 10. You may open your eyes when you are ready. All right. Well, I hope that you felt that, and I hope that you got some guidance on how to bring that happiness into your life, or whatever else. Maybe you needed some other guidance, and that's what's important. But that beautiful joy and that peace and that unconditional life. And look at the art. Tammy, I love it. Forgiveness. And there's her door. Oh, my dear. God, I love you. That is fabulous. Oh, my gosh, I love it. That is just beautiful. Oh, how very, very special. All right, guys. It has been a wonderful, this is always a very fun night. So tomorrow is your day. It's your day to start reenacting or getting that will to act. And it's the day to declare your decisive decision to be happy. Okay? And we'll talk more about that. The week after that, I think I'm going to be at a Catapatry. So we'll have other people who are local too. But don't you dare stop talking, because you guys have been along. You've been doing this, and you know, and I want to hear your ideas. And that it's a discussion group, and we're going to have it all set so everybody is heard. The other thing is, guys, you know, that was a shamanic. But there are so many different kinds of meditations and so many easy things. And sometimes those quick ones during the day. That 7-day reset is still out there. It's free. Go to soulmanifesto.com and get yourself on. Because I'll tell you what, when I'm at that when I've overwhelmed, for instance, with Gladius, I was saying, you know, that overwhelm, and I'm at that wonderful, beautiful nature preserve, my mind can still go nuts. And it's the little techniques that I know, what I teach in that 7-day reset, that help me to get centered again and feeling good. So it's very valuable. So it's Soul Manifesto, and it's the 7-day reset to your inner calm. But other than that, guys, this was a very fun night. And I hope you got some really good, useful things that you can start creating that happiness in your life. And as always, spirit is love. And the more we can get out of our own way and celebrate that love and bring that love into our heart, let it grow, then we are taking that spirit into us. Okay? Namaste. I love you all. Bye.
Namaste.
Bye. Oh, Tammy, your art's beautiful. Bye. So special. So
Good night.
special.